In May of this year, Microsoft announced the forthcoming Windows Terminal. Now, I'm not much of a Microsoft fanboy, and admittedly, I don't follow Windows 10 feature releases as closely as I probably should. I'm recording this on a Mac for what it's worth, but this caught my attention. This is an open source project intended to provide a modern and fast all-in-one terminal for Windows command line shells, including PowerShell, cmd.exe, and the Windows Subsystem for Linux, or WSL. And yes, it supports the upcoming WSL 2.0, which, if you're not familiar, is a much improved version of WSL that offers significant performance improvements. Windows Terminal features a tabbed interface, GPU-accelerated text rendering engine with Unicode support, and more. The new Windows Terminal is designed to run alongside the old Windows console, or conhost.exe. Recall that currently, when you launch powershell.exe, cmd.exe, or bash.exe, there's a conhost.exe process launched alongside it that provides the actual console UI. In fact, that Windows console isn't going anywhere because in long-standing Microsoft tradition, they try very hard to not break legacy software and to ensure backwards compatibility remains intact. On June 21st, an initial preview version was made available via the Microsoft Store. In this 13-cube short, we're going to install it and take a quick look around. We'll also fire up Process Hacker and take a look at that conhost.exe spawning behavior with powershell.exe as an example, and then we'll see what it looks like with the new Windows Terminal. So let's go ahead and click on Search in the Microsoft Store, and we'll type in Windows Terminal, and there it is. You'll notice it does say Preview in paren to the right of it. And of course, this is a very early build, so it's not feature complete, and there may be some stability issues. Here are a few screenshots showing you what it can look like, depending on how you customize it. So let's go ahead and click on Get. And no thank you, I don't want to sign in. And let's go ahead and wait for this to install, which shouldn't take but just a moment, because it's about 28 megs or so. And there we go. Let's go ahead and launch it. And there's the pretty new Windows Terminal. We'll maximize it, and first off, let's do something about these fonts. We'll come back to the 3 different shells you see here. So let's go ahead and click on Settings. And the first thing you'll notice is that it opened up a JSON file for us to manually edit. In this case, I've associated that file type with Sublime Text, so that's what you're looking at. I assume they'll implement some sort of GUI configuration at some point, but I don't know that for sure. Here we see font size, however. So let's go ahead and change all 3 of these sections, which represent PowerShell, cmd.exe, and our bash.exe, to 16. And there we go. So this should help out a lot. And as you can see, there are color schemes and plenty of other things here that we can customize as well. So lots of different options. Let's go ahead and save that. And you'll notice that the changes will immediately take effect. So as soon as we close the editor, there you go. Much more easy to read at this point. And of course, we can just play around here and issue some PowerShell commands, and you can see it's quite usable. Very easy to read what's on screen. No usability issues there. Now, if I click the little drop down there, you'll notice that we have CMD. And this, of course, launches a cmd.exe process within Windows Terminal. And we can play around here, and everything looks pretty cool. I like the translucent background that's kind of blurred out in the back there. But very nice and clean and easy to read the text on screen. Of course, we also have in the drop-down the ability to choose Bash, which in this case is Legacy, the way it's listed. And that loads up super fast, no problems there. Looks very clean and clear. And we can mess around here, do an ls or whatnot, and as you can see, everything looks as we would expect. If I click on the plus by itself, it's going to launch the default of PowerShell.exe. So now let's go ahead and take a look at what this looks like with Process Hacker. So we'll go ahead and fire that up. And the first thing we need to do is look at the behavior for something that we know, like PowerShell.exe. In other words, something legacy not using the new Windows Terminal. So I'll go ahead and fire up PowerShell here. And when I do, there we go, let's go back to here. And you'll notice, of course, there's a corresponding conhost.exe process, just like we expect. So let's go ahead and close that and see what kind of behavior we get with the new Windows terminal. So let's go ahead and launch another PowerShell and another PowerShell, and then we'll launch a CMD, and let's go ahead and throw bash in there as well. So now we've got 3, 2, and 1. 3 PowerShells, 2 CMDs, and 1 bash. And if we scroll down, you'll notice that it's all nicely underneath the Windows terminal.exe process. But look at this, we see conhost.exe still. I thought you said that conhost.exe was legacy. Well, it turns out that this is not the standard conhost.exe that is used with that previous powershell.exe process that we ran a moment ago. No, in fact, as you're seeing on screen, this is a completely separate version of conhost.exe, which ships with the Windows terminal and is included in the same directory in which it is installed. So that's interesting. I didn't realize it worked like that, or that they chose to name that console host process the same thing. I don't know if that's going to change in future builds or in the final release, but I thought it was interesting. Now, in old days, back in the Windows Vista and 7 days, we had a couple of volatility plugins, namely cmd scan and consoles, that we could use to extract any of the data that was typed into any of these console windows. But then with Windows 10, what we ended up having to do is dump the process memory for the conhost.exe processes and run strings against it or something like that in an effort to try to retrieve anything typed into the terminal windows. I assume this is going to work the same way with these new conhost.exe processes. And in fact, I tried to find out for myself, but this very newest build of Windows 10, as of the recording of this episode, has no corresponding volatility profile. So I was unable to even run a standard PS list, much less a memdump to dump the process memory associated with those particular PIDs. But I certainly do plan to do some additional testing. So I hope you enjoyed this quick first look at the new Windows terminal. Again, this is the first public release of this terminal, and it's certainly in early development right now. I don't know when the final release will be, but I thought it was kind of cool and worth showing you. So I hope you enjoyed it. But that's been it for this 13 Cube short. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.